I'm Daniel, the past life regressionist, and it's time to begin.
Lift off and the clock has started.
This is Timeless Spirituality. Enjoy Eternity Time. Hey everyone, welcome back to Timeless Spirituality. I just want to wish you all a happy 2026. Cheers to a new year and cheers to the best year ever. Happy New Year, everyone. With that, new year, newish season of the podcast. We're about 10 episodes into season 5. I'm curious, what do you guys want to see on the show? What would you like to explore more of? Who are some guests that you would like me to have on the show? I really want to hear from you guys, so please go ahead and reach out to me either on Instagram or through my website. I would love to get your feedback. So with all that said, if you would like to book a regression with me to discover who, when, and where you have been throughout time, you can reach me on Instagram, The Past Life Regressionist, or you can book through my website, thepastliferegressionist.com. And now, it's time to begin.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Timeless Spirituality. I am not the host, but I'm going to try to host today. I guess it depends on where you're at. And, well, if it's in your dreams, well, that could be any time and anywhere and any mixture and combination thereof, because that's kind of how dreams tend to operate. And, well, mic drop. That is the topic that we're going to talk about today. Dreams. And my goodness, is it an interesting one. And so now, with that introduction, I am going to bring your host in, Daniel, the past life regressionist, to actually give a professional introduction because he knows how to do this and does this for a living. And so, Daniel, take it away.
Actually, Dana, that was great. I got nothing to add. But yes, everyone, we are here to talk about dreams today. And I think that in a conversation like this, I just need to say right up front, our answers are going to be opinion-based because science can't measure it. It can't measure dreams at this point. Even someone who studies dreams for a living, they don't know, they believe. So everything that we talk about is going to be opinion-based, just as everyone who talks about dreams, even if they state it as fact, it is just an opinion because we don't know yet. We are not at that point where we can measure dreams yet. With that said, Dana, would you like me to take the first question or would you like to take it?
Well, you can take the first question, but I would like to just say something if that's okay. So I know you said that dreams are opinion-based. And I do agree with you.
No. What are dreams are opinion based?
Well, and I would say that science doesn't have a fucking clue. They definitely look into it, but it's largely unknown. The reason, the origin, the why. Everyone's got their theories, but scientifically, it's an enigma. And I do agree with you when you say it's largely opinion based because there is a lack of scientific evidence or proof that can firmly establish what the fuck is happening when we are dreaming. But I will tell you that everything that I say on this podcast from here on out moving forward is not going to be knowledge-based or opinion-based. It's going to be based on experience. I'm a vivid dreamer. I know that I dream almost every single night, and probably 70% of the time, I remember those dreams in vivid detail. Now, some of those dreams...
Well, you believe it's 70% of the time.
Yeah, I believe 70% of the time. Now, I would say that a lot of those dreams, I would agree that I believe it is a way of my subconscious trying to show me something that I don't want to look at in my waking life because it's too hard. I would also agree that I would also say that a lot of my dreams are here to kind of like just release the pressure of the day, for no better sense of the term, kind of to allow me to recharge and yeah, release some pressure. I think based on my experience with my own dreams, I think that some dreams are something greater, something that is intended to show us something deeper about ourselves or something external that we can't quite understand, and that the only avenue to get through and to share that message is through dreams. And then lastly, there might be more, but this is all I got now. I think that dreams can also be an avenue for our loved ones to somehow reach out to us from the other side. And whether that is actually the spirit of our loved one coming in to talk to us in our dreams, or whether it is our love for our loved ones, the memories we have, and what we know of them so deeply that it's almost like they are and always have been a part of us. I mean, whatever it is, I do believe that dreams can be an avenue for our loved ones who are no longer with us to communicate with us. And that last belief I have about dreams is based on a very specific dream I had where my father visited me in my dream. And I don't want to get too much into detail, at least not at this point, but let's just say the dream, he showed me things that I did not yet know were actually going to happen very soon after that dream that actually did. And I actually didn't think that was really possible with dreams before that one. And that was about a year and a half ago. And that one blew my mind. And I was already fascinated with dreams because I dreamed vividly. But that just really opened up the floodgates as far as what I believe, not through opinion, not because of just opinion or science, but just based on my own personal experience. Those are the things that I believe that dreams could be, metaphysically speaking, and how they can operate in our lives in a way that helps us function and grow and move forward and know ourselves better, etc. I'm done with this monologue. So yes, you answer. What do you think, Daniel?
Well, I mean, I appreciate that. I think that answers the question, who was going to take it first? I think you just took it. That was great, though. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like what you said there, that dreams could act almost as a prognostication, almost as if it's predicting events to come. And I mean, then, of course, we get into the nature of time, which we'll do a whole other episode on, or 50. But I think I want to piggyback off of what you said. I also think that dreams are a way for us to access other lives. When I say other lives, what we know to be past lives. I think that we can revisit them through our dreams and maybe not even be aware of it, or be like, wait, this is weird. Why is everyone dressed so funky? This is like, why am I at a genuine disco club right now? Sky's the limit for that. But yes, I do believe that we can revisit past lives in dreams. I also think that, Dana mentioned that she feels it's a way for our loved ones to communicate with us. I think it's also a way for what we refer to as our guides to also communicate with us. I think that they could show up in one form or another, be characters in our dreams. But I do believe that they have a way to hop in there, maybe even craft the dream for us, or maybe we craft the dream and they just come along for the ride. In rare cases, I don't think this is for everyone, but I do believe that there are people who have the ability to enter what we may refer to as the in-between, that space between life here on Earth and what comes next. Because is there a process or a journey to get to that place of what comes next, that place that we may refer to as heaven? Is there a journey that you have to embark on to get to that place and what we may refer to as the in-between? And I do believe that some humans have the ability to go on that journey in dreams. Now, what they are doing there, your guess is as good as mine, but I think that there are people here on Earth who are working while they're sleeping. And maybe they are guides in one form or another while they're sleeping to recently departed individuals who need help moving on to that next place, almost as if they're acting as guides in and of themselves. But I think that our dreams are avenues of travel and time travel and places that give us access to different states of being that we can't normally access in our normal waking state, and that the sky just becomes the limit. Because also, one of the cool things about talking to Dana about dreams is that oftentimes she will say to me, "Hey, I had this dream last night," and she'll tell me about it. And I'll say, "Was the hallway a little curved? Did it have these kind of lines?" She'll be like, "Yeah." "Was there a guy there?" "Well, yeah." Was he on a couch?" "Yeah." "Yeah, I was in your dream." So for Dana and I, there have been those moments where we have, at least it sure appears that way, that her and I have met up in dreams and just kind of crisscross paths or seen it from different perspectives. But nonetheless, even in that dream, I have that feeling of, oh, I feel like Dana's here. But here's where it gets interesting. Sometimes in that dream, I will see someone that doesn't look like Dana, but I'll feel like, that's Dana. Doesn't look like her, but that's Dana. So on a very rudimentary level also, I just feel that our dreams are a playground in a sense, or a sandbox, or it's almost like we are comedians workshopping a new routine for the big show to see if it works, to see how the crowd reacts. And the crowd being us in a sense in our dreams of whatever this event that's coming up on the horizon and something we need to workshop or deal with, it's almost as if we're getting practice for whatever that event may be. And I'm sure as this conversation goes on, other little light bulbs are going to go off where I'm be like, oh, yeah. And I think the dreams are this, and I think the dreams are this, and I think the dreams are this. Dana, what you got? I know you want to piggyback off what I said.
Well, I'll start by saying I agree with you. As you know, I've seen you in my dreams oftentimes too, as I've seen my mother, my father who's now passed, and pretty much every member of my family, close friends, whether we're still close friends or not, people I've known. And I think it's interesting because there is the question, like, is that a solo experience? Like if you dream of a loved one, whether still here or not, does that mean that you are somehow forming a connection with them? Maybe they're dreaming of you too, but very few people. And I've done my research, and every single person has around 4 to 5 dreams a night. Now, while everyone might have 4 to 5 dreams a night, most people don't remember them. Or if they do remember them, they only remember like maybe one a week or one a month, or for some people, one a year. Some people don't even think they dream because they don't remember any. And so I would wonder if we were capable of always remembering every dream we had, and we could cross-reference with our loved ones, especially when we dream of our loved ones that are still here. And we could all remember, like, would we realize, like, oh my gosh, like we all remembered our dreams. And like, I call my mom, hey, I dreamed of you last night. This is what's going on. And she's like, oh my gosh, I remembered my dream too. And that's crazy because I had a very similar dream and you were in mine. Like we were there together. And I think it's hard to confirm that because we all dream, but so few people remember. And it's rare when you have 2 people that remember a dream that is relevant where they can actually cross-reference those things. But I think that is something interesting, an interesting springboard that I would love to talk about more. Something else I would like to talk about is your comment about when we dream, we might be visiting the in-between, other lives, the in-between. And I agree. I've had a lot of dreams that I think feel like an in-between, frequent dreams. And I'm going to quote you from prior podcasts, Daniel.
Awesome.
When you said that while you are a past life regressionist And seeing past lives matters for the purpose of understanding where you've been, being able to understand what you might have gone through in another life. And you always said that the reason that that's important is so that people can focus on the here and now and understand why things that they might be going through now, why they're going through. And that while seeing another life might help you understand why and help you in this life, doesn't mean it's a automatic fix. You can't just get rid of it. But like you said, what always matters is the here and now. And so when it comes to dreams, I have had a lot of dreams where I wake up and I'm like, what the actual fuck? Yeah, it might have felt like an in-between, might have just been weird as shit with some really weird stuff. And then also like in a setting that I'm familiar with or a place I'm familiar with, but like I can't make heads or tails of it. And I think it's important to explore that stuff. It fascinates me, but I also think it's important to recognize when you have a dream that is grounded. As weird as that sounds, I believe there are grounded dreams. And I think a grounded dream is one where when you wake up, you know that you just got an important message. Whoever it's from, whether it's from yourself, your own subconscious, a loved one, God, I don't care. But when you wake up and you know, oh, this is really important right here and right now. And I don't need to go on a freaking Google search or ask ChatGPT, why in the world did I just dream about 3 large snakes and then reptile-like figures at my grandma's house that, really like ice and want to eat our crop?
Boy, that was oddly specific.
Okay, I get that. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, it's weird. It's fascinating. I want to know more. But at the same time, I've had other dreams that are so grounded that it's kind of like, even if I didn't want to accept the message and I didn't know what was going to happen in the future, it's like that part of me did know. And then to have the message in that dream actually play out in my life was, I don't even know the word to explain it. But I have so many things I could say about dreams. From my experience as a vivid dreamer, I can say with full confidence that I believe that oftentimes our dreams can give us very real, very grounded messages that we can actually apply to our lives right here and right now, which you, Daniel, aptly said is all that matters. It's the most important part.
Well, with that, do you believe that some dreams aren't meant to be understood at all, but just simply experienced?
I would say no. I think that while our brain does a lot of farting during waking life, I actually think our dreams are more reliable. I think that when we're awake and we got our cognitive processes at full capacity and we've got the ability to doubt ourselves, question ourselves, second guess everything, even question whether, am I feeling this way because of a past life? Or am I feeling this way because, I don't know, fill in the blank. When we're dreaming, like, we don't have the ability to do that. It's like we are just doing stuff. And it doesn't even make sense. In our waking life, we are very tied to time and place. We are very tied. We run our lives.
Wait. Hold on. Sorry. I got to jump in really quick. Because you have even told me with dreams that you've had an awareness about where you are and that you are you. And you're like, oh, this is a dream. Oh, this means something. Like, we're even in your dream, you're trying to figure something out.
Well, yeah, you're talking about lucid dreaming. Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely do that. But like, I get the point I'm trying to make is that when we're dreaming, even lucid dreaming, time and space usually don't apply. I've had a good number of dreams where my dream actually seems to follow a linear timeline and I seem to be in the same place or space. But most of my dreams, even if I'm lucid dreaming, I might be in one place with one person and all this weird stuff's happening. Then I'm somewhere else. Then I'm on this other journey. And like in my dream, I even lucid dreaming, it doesn't feel weird. And like there's no time or space to process like how weird it is that I just went from like my bedroom that I'm familiar with to like some like random indoor mall, carrying a few bags. And then I'm at an amusement park, and now I'm in my car on the freeway. And now I'm on, I don't know, what seems like another planet. And now I'm back at my childhood home, not the one not my current home, but childhood home. Even with lucid dreaming, like there's no time to really like self-doubt or to think about what comes next or what came before. It's like when you are dreaming, even lucid dreaming, it's like you're aware of it and you can kind of change the narrative if you're lucid dreaming, but you're still kind of along for the ride. So like if you're at a part in a dream where you are falling, for instance, I've had a dream where I was falling and I was lucid dreaming. So like I decided within my dream, I was going to fly, and I did. And it was cool. But at the same time, then, at some point after that, I ended up, I don't know, somewhere completely grounded and different. I can't remember. But it didn't feel weird in my dream. I remembered it when I woke up. I remembered that I had some control over it. But it wasn't until I woke up that I actually realized, even with lucid dreaming, how weird time and space was within the dream, and how I would bounce around from different places, but somehow within my dream, it felt like it followed a common narrative. And I have no explanation for that. What do you think? But does that make sense?
I mean, yes, it makes total sense, but I think it's more emblematic of it's not a one size fits all, because I think you had mentioned, at least this is the way that I interpreted it, is that all dreams have meaning. Because I think the way that I asked the question was, are all dreams meant to be understood or just experienced? Because for me personally, and I think this is also where you and I have fundamental disagreements, where, of course, I look for meaning in everything. But then sometimes it's like that Freud quote, I believe it's Freud, where a cigar is just a cigar. Sometimes it just is what it is. And there have been dreams where I've woken up, like, for example, I live on I wouldn't say it's a super duper busy street, but I do live across the street from an office park. So there is a lot of activity going on, especially during the week. And of course, Saturday fucking mornings when the trash is getting picked up. That's a whole other story, actually, that kind of factors in right now. I'm not bitter about that. I am. But there have been times where, and of course, like I get hot when I'm sleeping. This is all relevant. So I sleep with my window open, even during the winter. Granted, I do live in Southern California. And there are times when I wake up from a dream, that's just a great dream. And I'm like, oh, God, why are they gardening at 7 a.m. right now? Oh, man, why are they picking up the trash at 6:30? That dream was amazing. I was enjoying myself so much. There was just this great feeling in the dream. And to me, there was nothing that needed to be understood about the dream. It just felt fun and great, and something where I would wake up in the morning and feel like that was really cool. And I didn't have to look deeper. I didn't have to search for meaning. I just got to enjoy it. Maybe I needed a reprieve that morning because I had a difficult day the day before.
May I cut in?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so I'm going to bring it back to philosophy here. Okay, let's get to the metaphysics of dreams. And let's explore that by asking questions. Best way to get to the root of anything. So you were just talking about how some dreams, you don't know what they're about. You can't understand them. Like, why? Maybe it just was meant to be like what it is. But when you say that, you are saying it from the perspective of your waking life being your real existence, and your dream life, your sleeping state, where you spend 50% of your life being your...
Well, in all fairness, I don't spend 50% of my life there.
Okay, that's fine. We can fix percentages, but here's the important part. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, don't focus on my numbers here, but we all know that we sleep at night and we're awake during the day. So the point I'm trying to make is that what makes our waking life any more real than our dream space or our sleeping state? Now, here's the most fascinating part of this inquiry, from my perspective at least. If you were to ask your dream self, like imagine dream self is the real you, right? Okay, can you follow me with that? Can you follow this hypothetical as if your dream self is the real you?
Yeah.
Now, if your dream self were to quote unquote dream a day in the life of your real life, do you think that they would quote unquote wake up and be like, wow, I just got so much from that? He got up and then he went to his computer. Oh, wait, he went to the kitchen and then he got a cup of coffee and then he went to his computer and then he walked around and he went to a grocery store and got some macaroni and cheese. And then I woke up like, man, like that has zero meaning. Maybe I just, and I'm talking from the dream you, maybe I'm just, maybe I just had to hit for some reason. Maybe I don't know, because I don't see any huge significance or deep meaning. And the point I'm trying to make is that I think, we are making a lot of assumptions. And I mean, obviously, we have heartbeats. We're humans. We know we're alive. We know what we are. But there's something about dreams we don't know. And we all spend a lot of friggin' time asleep and dreaming. And maybe it doesn't need to be that profound. Maybe it's just a matter of perspective. And when we are dreaming, we are seeing a part of ourselves that we can't see in our waking life. Maybe us in our dream space can see us in our waking life, just like us in our waking life see ourselves in our dream space. And I think we can all agree that, at least for us here in our waking life, if the dream version of us is capable of seeing everything we're doing on the day-to-day, that, well, some quote-unquote dreams of the dreamer, are not going to be that exciting. And others will be very exciting and very meaningful. For instance, and follow me, I know this is a very weird hypothetical, but if the part of us that dreams were to see a moment in our lives that was literally transformative, like for better or worse, like the day that we achieved everything we always wanted to, the day we lost someone we love very much. Now, these are key moments. Now, what if the part of us that somehow exists, whatever that means, when we are dreaming, sees all the boring stuff, like we're just getting coffee and living a boring life, but they can also tune into those key moments that are transformative. And maybe it's like the alternating current we talked about. Maybe it's a give and take. Maybe we need to not be so wrapped up in, well, the real me is the me when I'm awake. I mean, like, yeah, obviously we're all real, like we know that. But maybe there's really something more to that. And
look, maybe, but what does that have to do with what I said about sometimes a dream is just a dream? And hey, I really enjoyed that dream. There's nothing else to it. I don't need to think anymore about what it is. I hear what you're saying right now, and I think it's valid, because how do we know what reality truly is? I think that's what you're saying. How do we know?
What I'm saying is, maybe the mundane is also important for the dream. Maybe it doesn't have to be interesting or understandable. Maybe we don't need to understand it. Maybe we just need to witness it. Maybe we just need to be familiar with it.
Thank you. Hence experiencing it.
Yes, but maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That goes two ways, is my point.
Maybe.
Because if people get too much into the cycle of just being like, oh, all dreams are brain parts, they're going to miss the key moment.
Whoa. Are you just saying that in general? Or are you saying that that's what I'm saying?
No, I'm not trying to insult your highly incredible intelligence and intuition. I'm just putting forward a hypothesis about our waking state and our dream state perhaps being a two-way street. an alternating current, a give and take, where one is not more real than the other. They are just different.
All right. Next question.
Did that go over your giant, brilliant, intuitive, amazing head?
Throw in a couple more adjectives and I'll let you know.
Handsome, large, great hair.
I hear exactly what you're saying. And I think, yeah, that's entirely possible. Again, because it's what is reality? But my next question for you is, do you feel that dreams can ever mislead us?
Sure. I think dreams can probably mislead us just as much as we mislead ourselves, and life often misleads us. Because I think our dreams are, to a certain extent, us. And I don't know exactly how to parse that out, but I believe that our dreams are an extension and a very integral part of us, whatever that looks like. And we mislead ourselves, we make mistakes. I mean, we do that all the time. So why would we not do the same thing in our dreams? But at the same time, if we see what we see in our dreams, it's for a reason. And maybe it's to point out a way that we've been misleading ourselves. Maybe, like I said, if it's a two-way flow, if it's an alternating current, it's a back and forth, maybe we're misleading the version of ourselves that exists in our dream space. And I know this sounds crazy, and I'm not saying I believe this. Please, listeners, I'm not saying I believe this, but this is what a philosophical inquiry is. It's taking yourself to a place where you assume or pretend like you know nothing. You throw away your senses, you throw away all your preconceived notions, you throw away your knowledge, you take yourself to the deepest roots of everything, and you ask yourself from that place, based on what you have experienced about any particular thing. Now we're talking about dreams. What could it be? Because to truly understand something from a metaphysical standpoint, you got to get down to the roots. And if we do that, it's completely possible that our dreams are not just dreams, but more of an important part and deeply connected part of who we are than we could have ever imagined. And because we are so rooted here in our waking life, going through the day-to-day routines, day-to-day monotony, doing what we do, actually feeling grounded, this is where we actually have conscious choice, unless we're lucid dreaming, and even then it's weird. But we have decided that this is real. That is not real. I believe there's a very real possibility, based on my experience, that both are very real and very important. However you want to define that reality, okay, that's fine. I don't know. Nobody does, not even science really. But however you define it, we can all agree that it is a real fact that we all sleep and dream. We all do it. Every single one of us. Everybody. Now that's huge. And I think it makes more logical sense, if we're going to focus on logic, to say that the fact that we all do it and that a large majority of us remember them, and even if we don't, we all do it. There's got to be a reason for it. And it can't just be, it's nothing. I mean, maybe, it's nothing, just as much as like some of our more boring days could look like nothing, but they're not, because every day, even if it is nothing exciting, is still an important part of our growth forward. Even if it's not, a key moment in our growth and development, it is still a day in our lives. And why should dreams have to follow different standards? And honestly, I think dreams typically are more exciting. Sometimes they're more monotonous, like most of the days in our lives. But I think if we take ourselves down to the very roots of it, we would all have to admit to ourselves that we have not been giving our dreams enough credit, enough attention, or enough thought.
Fellow time travelers, your journey through time awaits you. Just want to thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. And if you're interested in discovering who, when, and where you have been throughout time, and you'd like to book a session with me, just go ahead and send me a message on Instagram at The Past Life Regressionist, or you can reach me through my website, yourpastliferegressionist.com.